Good morning, welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead. I'm Stacey if this is the first time we're meeting, and welcome to all my new subscribers. We've had a lot of new people subscribe to my wee channel, and it's awesome to see you here, and I hope that you enjoy all the content that I put out for you. So today is what I'm calling my Sunday reset as part of my going a year without the grocery store. I really have to come up with an acronym or a smaller name to go with it, because it's a mouthful, and having to say that all the time is going to be like, oh. So if you can come up with a good acronym or a different name, leave it in the comments below. Anyway, today for my Sunday reset, I've jotted down my little list. Just one moment. To go and get my other papers, and what I've planned to do, I've got quite a lot of work on this week. I work on a casual basis, so they book me up when somebody needs a holiday off, somebody calls in sick, so I can be called into work at a moment's notice. So my goal for this year is to get myself more organized so that the kitchen and the house runs more efficiently for me. And I'm not so stressed and tired out. So my Sunday reset is, I thought the first thing I need to do is get some bread in the freezer. I do have some loaves of bread, and I can buy bread at a fruit and veggie shop without, going to the supermarket. But I want to try and, save my pennies, because as you know, I'm doing my 5K challenge as well. So I'm going to make some bagels, because I gave... I've done a video on bagels, and I'll link that up here, and I gave them to my son and daughter-in-law, and they love them. So I need to make up some more. I'll put a couple more in the freezer for me, and I'm going to give them some more because they absolutely love them. I want to make 2 loaves of bread, sandwich bread or toast bread, some bread rolls with some cheese over the top. And I was thinking I might make a couple of baguettes as well, so I can just pull them out of the freezer. Or should I turn them into garlic loaves? I might actually turn them into garlic loaves, because it's quite nice to whip a garlic bread out and serve it if you're doing pasta or something. Hello, my girl. Outside. Out. You're not allowed in the kitchen. Out you go. Out, Trix. Good girl. Wherever I am, she is out. Out. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to my friends. She's getting confused. Out. Out. Good girl. I took out 2 roast chickens yesterday, so I'm going to roast them. We're going to have one with tonight's dinner, and I thought I might make a salad with some of that salad and some of that fresh corn, and I've got some little baby potatoes that I'll whip up as well. And I'm going to start getting meat out, like a few nights worth of meat out, and popping it in the fridge in a pan or something, and that way I've got like 2 or 3 different proteins that I can pick and choose what I want to make with. So I'll go to the freezer and probably get 2 or 3 out. I'm not going to be here for the days that I work, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday, because it's a split shift and it's like a 10-hour day. So my husband will have to make something. But if I've got the meat out already, it's easy for him to whip something up. Or if I'm good, I might make something the night before and he can have that. Fill out my monthly meal plan. So I need to fill out my monthly meal plan. I will also link that video above here if you're interested, because I have done some printables for myself and for you guys if you're interested. And I need to start working through, I've got freezer inventory, I've got my preservation in inventory, my pantry and fridge. So rather than do it all in one hit, I'm just going to take small bites of it, because it's quite a bit of work. So today I'm just going to fill out my preservation inventory, because it's January, and I'm not affiliated with the Sutton Days January, although I would dearly love to be next year. That would be awesome. So I'm not part of the prize giving or anything like that, just just for your information, so you don't go at me in the comments. But why not still participate? It's heavy preservation season. It's our summer months, so yeah. So I'm going to fill out my preservation inventory, which basically, you know, everything that I want to preserve this summer, autumn. And also it's got an inventory list for jars and lids and things like that, so I'll go through and see what I need to stock up on. I have that $2 bag of red onions, so I'm going to turn them into fridge pickles, and I want to clean out the fridges, and I have to mow the lawns and do all my other chores around, so it's quite a big day. We'll see how much I get done. So yeah, the first thing I decided to do, I do have last night's dishes there. The dishwasher's just finished, and I'm gonna pop that in there, but I'm going to just start making up these loaves of bread, and they can be rising and I can be doing other jobs. So here's the recipe. I use Kiwi Country Girl recipe. As I said, I've got the video, and I will link it if you're looking for that recipe. Alright, so I'm going to utilise my Thermomix. Why not use it? If you've got a KitchenAid stand mixer, you can use that to knead your dough, or you could hand knead it, or you could, what was the other one? Bread maker, yeah. So I'm just going to use this to mix my doughs, because 2 minutes kneading in this is equivalent to 10 minutes hand kneading. So all the doughs are going to go into here, and then I will just put them into bowls. Right. First thing is putting on my apron. Got my favourite one today. And we'll get these bagels in this machine, and then okay, so I need get everything out, then it's easier. One and 1/4 cups of warm water. Sugar, how much sugar? 1.5 tablespoons. And the yeast. 2.25 teaspoons. Just about out of my yeast, but I keep all mine in the freezer, so I've got lots in the freezer. I'm just gonna let this hydrate and activate. I've just grabbed a bowl and lightly greased it in preparation for the dough, and that's finished. so easy with this machine. It's perfect. Twist. And we're just going to let this stand. It's a really hot day today, so well, it's still quite early in the morning. It's about 9:30. It's going to be a scorcher, so I will, no need to clean that in between the doughs. I'm not going to be too worried about that. So as I said, greased and oiled, it's in the bowl. Let that double in size, and then punch it down, form the rings, and then I'll pop it in the boiling water, and then I'll bake that off. So that's one thing down. I need to refill my flour. Bagels, got them started. I might get the 2 loaves of bread started. So this recipe is my recipe, and I will just go and grab that. Now, I usually use this recipe, makes one loaf and some bread rolls, but I want to make separate bread rolls, and I want 2 loaves of bread. So I think I've got a larger pan and I've got a smaller pan, so I think it should be enough to do one larger and one smaller. I'll give it a go. It'll be the tester to see if it'll work. So yeah, I will leave this recipe down in the description. So I'm starting off with 2.5 cups of warm water, because I'm using milk powder as my milk part of it. Otherwise it's 2 cups of warm water and 1/2 cup of warm milk. So yeah, I'm just doing that instead. So 2.5 cups of warm water. I want a 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. And one packet of yeast, so that's 2.5 teaspoons. See if I've got 2.5 teaspoons left. This already starting to bubble, and I need to go and grab a new packet out of the freezer, and it needs 1/4 cup of melted butter. I've got some softened butter here, that's about 1/2 cup. It's really soft, so the kneading process will get it into the dough, and I'll get my milk powder in as well. So I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons. Make sure I've got everything in there. 5 to 7 cups of flour, so that's obviously depending on the humidity and whatnot. So I always start with 6 cups and sort of go from there. That's bubbling away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start with that, and some salt again. I always put the salt at the top, because salt can kill yeast. And pop the lid on. 2 minutes. And that'll be the next lot of bread done. I will keep one loaf out and the rest will, the other loaf will go in the freezer. I think we'd go through more than 2 loaves a week, but that's what I'll do for today. And then I'm going to use the exact same recipe for the bread rolls as well. Right, that's done. It's still tacky, but that's okay because it will hydrate, the flour will hydrate in here, and if it needs any more flour I can add it at the next stage. So I'll just release it, turning the blade. Because it's a bit wet. It's slightly stuck in here. It's alright. And because it's the same recipe, I might as well pop all of the next dough in here as well. Okay, that second batch is done. And the baguette recipe, I'm using a Thermomix one. So I'll just clean this out and make the Thermomix baguettes. And the great thing about this machine is it cleans itself. So that's the last dough that I needed to do. So it's going to clean itself. It's the baguette dough. So I've got bagels, baguettes, 2 loaves of bread and some cheesy bread rolls. Now I'm just going to let them rise. And in the meantime, I'm going to swap that load of dishes around, and then I'm going to make the French pickles. So I've decided to put the fridge pickles into this Kilner jar. It's got a screw top, not a screw top, you know, a clip top. So I like to start off with a tiny bit of hot water down the bottom. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar, a 1/4 cup. and the warm water will help dissolve the sugar. You could use honey if you wanted to. Okay, so that's pretty much dissolved. Now I like to use 2 parts white vinegar and 1 part water. Start with that and see if we need any more. And then I'm just going to put in some pickling spice. It's got lots of different spices in there. A teaspoon. Some cinnamon bark, cloves. Be about enough for that. And then I like to put some mustard seed in. This is one thing I've been trying to get for ages, is mustard seed, but they've just not been in stock, so I desperately need some so I can make up some more mustard for the rest of the year. Another stir, and then I'm just going to chop up all these little baby onions, slice them up, pop them in the jar, and it'll stay in the fridge for months and months. Oh, and I need to add some salt. Half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to finish this and I'll show you at the end. It was a perfect amount of onions for that big jar. And I may have to just top it off with a bit of extra vinegar. Might be alright actually. Should I sort of punch everything down with the vibrant purple. Vinegar makes it go. No, I won't have to top it off at all. Make sure that everything's mixed around, broken up a little bit. They're fully submerged. Happy days. One big, I think it's, I'm not sure the size, at least a litre, into the fridge. It'll last for months. That's the bagel. And the baguette. It's my huge thing of plums. Look, can you see? It's got a big dome from the yeast rising. That's so cool. Give it a little bit longer and then I'll punch it all down and start getting that ready. Right. All the dough is ready to be punched down now, but I thought I'd just quickly share what I've done with thinking about what I need to preserve as far as canning is concerned. I need to make pizza sauce. I'm out of that altogether. I need to jar up some more diced tomatoes. I've still got like quite a lot of the big number 10 cans of tomatoes, so I will do some of those before tomatoes even come in. Any tomatoes that come in from the garden I'll just put straight into the freezer and do some canning with that later on. some tomato sauce or tomato ketchup. I need to do that pretty quickly. Cranberry juice. I want to have some shelf-stable cranberry juice here, just for, you know, like gut health and stuff, bladder health. Cranberry sauce, definitely want to make that up. Caramelized onion jam. I'm going to do some cherries and some applesauce and apple pie filling. I haven't done applesauce before, so I definitely want to do that this year because you can use that in place of eggs quite often. And the cherries and the apples are probably the only fruit that I'm going to do this year because I've got lots and lots of tin fruit in the cupboard in the pantry that I want to use up this year. So next year will be more about canning in season fruit. I need to make up some jams, so I want to do some beans like kidney beans and black beans and stuff. Some chicken. I haven't tried canned chicken, so I want to do some and try that. Some more pineapple because what I've got is nowhere near enough for a whole year. Some more beef stew, and I want to do some pulled pork. I haven't done pulled pork either. And some more stock. So I've got stock in the freezer, but I've got beef bones, so I want to get some beef stock done and more chicken stock. So that's what I've got so far, but no doubt I will come up with many other things when I start thinking about you know, not buying products anymore. So that's that. And on my list with I need to get out some more meat and do my meal plan, and I'm not going to bother cleaning the fridges today. I will put that on till tomorrow. So yeah, just punch down this bread and shape it and let it do its second rise. Yeah, risen up the most. I didn't oil it, so of course it's going to stick a little bit. Add a little bit of flour to the top and to my hands and punch this down. Now this is the 2 loaves of bread and bread rolls. Now this is hydrated up quite nicely. It will need a little bit of flour, but nowhere near as much as before, and that just goes to prove that, you know, if you add too much flour earlier on, you end up with a dense dough, and you don't want a dense dough because you get a dense bread. So I'm just going to get the pans out. Right, I have they're both lidded, so I've got a Thermomix one, and I have the US Pullman's square. So I will move them out of the way. How much dough will I need? I don't know. Just sort of managing it into a loaf shape. Folding its, you know, folding itself. That's perfect for that one. That's in there, so we'll let that rise. get this wrong. It's the first one to rise. And this one's quite a bit longer. And we'll need a bit more dough for this one. Put that together. And again, it's that one. We'll let it rise to almost the top. Put the lid on this one too. That just leaves us with this amount of dough here to make up some bread rolls. I've got my big roasting pan. I will put some baking paper on the bottom of that. And hopefully get 12 rolls out. We'll say maybe even 16. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 12. Perfect. Alright. Shape it in a ball. And in a C motion. You don't want too much flour on the bit when you're starting to shape it, because otherwise it doesn't stick and you can't get that traction. To a ball. Sort of pressing down as well as rolling it around the C cup. Okay, let them rise. Paper over that. Right, what's next? This is the bagels. definitely a more dense dough. I am cutting it into fourths, and which is fine, and then I decided to cut it into thirds, and what I should have done was just cut each quarter into half, because the recipe makes 8. So the bagels were a little bit too small, and also I found out later that they stick to the paper because the dough wasn't quite dry enough. So although it's not tacky to the feel while I'm shaping them, they needed to be a little bit drier with some more flour on the bottom, and then they wouldn't have stuck to the baking paper. That needs to go onto a tray to double in size. Them all shaped. Now we're going to let them double in size, and then we will boil them, and then I'll put the toppings on the top. Baking paper over that as well. And last one to go is the baguettes. And I have a Thermomix tray for that as well. I'm sort of going to stretch it out. To roughly the length of the tray. Then I'm going to roll it and then sort of have it around about the same. So I'll let those rise as well. Already starting to rise quite nicely. Baguettes, which we just finished, the bagels and the buns. Some boiling water on the go, and turn my oven on, and yeah, just hope that I can rotate it all. You know, I'll look for stuff that needs rising a little bit longer, and get them all through the oven. But I'm pretty wrapped with that work, and it really wasn't that much hands-on work time wise. So yeah, we'll get that baking, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Right, I've got you perched in amongst the dishes. Oh, I need to put my apron back on. And there goes husband. Oh, noisy dishwasher, sorry. Was that him after all? maybe it wasn't him. I just need to grate some cheese because these rolls and the baguettes are ready. They can go into the oven now. I'm gonna pop the baguettes in first. Just need to go and get some cheese. Pop some cheese over these buns. They're all touching. Get this done quickly because everything else is going to be ready all at the same time, otherwise. You could add some ham to these as well if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do plain cheese. Quite a bit because I like it when it goes cold and it's got big chunks of cheese in between the rolls. Great for somebody who's trying to lose weight. Pop them in as well. And the bread loaves are going well, but they still need it just a little bit longer. Take them off the oven. There's this one. Yeah, a bit longer, and these bagels need a little bit longer too. Right, I'm just going to grab 2 bowls, and on the bagels I'm going to put black poppy seeds and some sesame seeds. Try something different from everything but the bagel seasoning. I'm just going to grab and put some in the bottom of the bowl. Don't need too much. Actually, I might be better off putting them on a plate. I've just had a check of them and they're not too far off. Still a little bit too blonde, but these bagels started to puff up quite nicely, so I've turned the water back on and I will start boiling those and then dipping them in the toppings. And the 2 loaves are just about ready to go in the oven, so by the time the rest of this finishes it should be ready. So I've just taken those bagels off this tray so that I can utilise that tray. Once they've been boiled. It definitely wasn't husband on the tractor because husband is just driving up the driveway. But he is going to start haymaking, so I might even grab some footage of him haymaking over the next little bit if I'm not at work. So hot now. The dough's too wet and they're sticking on the paper. They're going to be ugly, but that's nothing I can do about it now. Oh no. ugly bagels, but who cares, they will still taste the same. They're just a bit craggy. And I'm just going to boil them for a minute. The longer you boil them, the denser they are. To put our tea towel down. Not good. Not how to make bagels. First time I did them, they worked perfectly. But this dough is just too wet. Baguettes. And cheese buns. Just flip them over. Wonder if I could chuck them on in there with the paper on them and give that a go. See? That's better. At least I'm not busting them down. That's working perfectly. Right, I need to dip these before they dry too much. Look at that massive old one. It's more like a pretzel. And the paper is just peeling straight off. So there's a handy tip for you if that ever happens to you. Okay, I'm just making some ugly bagels.
Well, what are bagels first of all?
Like they are. Right, the 2 loaves are ready. So all the baking is out. My bagels were an absolute flop. It is not the recipe. I just didn't do it justice. But here they are. They're a little bit flat. They're still going to taste nice. They're very soft. It's one of the loaves. And there's the second loaf. So put these in the freezer. I showed you the baguettes. And 4 of the buns have already been eaten, but they're so soft, so good, like better than the supermarket. So I will link that, my recipe, down in the description, and do try that out. You can use it, as I said, for bread or buns. So I'm going to love and leave you there, and I think I've done well for my Sunday reset, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care now. Bye.